What's going on, Master Duel fans? James here again. More support cards to review. If anyone remembers way back when, throughout the first year or second year of Master Duel, where I once performed with insane shenanigans with the Magistus stuff, well, new cards came in terms of the support as of the great Propheseers, and apparently they took out the Invoke and Magistus, if I recall, in terms of like the separate selection packs. It's either Magistus and Witchcrafters, or even Invoke with Witchcrafters with their own separate selection packs. But let me know in the comments below, just in case. If I got it wrong, cool, but I can even also check out the how to obtain as well. So, great Propheseers. And then for the Ver, just for a little bit of a disclaimer there. So, Seekers of Witchcraft. So that's the Invoke and Witchcrafter after all. Because if I recall, this used to be Invoke, Magistus, and Witchcrafters. So if we go through the selection packs, great Propheseer, Magistus, and then you also got like miscellaneous amount of spellcaster monsters in any shape or form. So yeah, great Propheseer is Magistus. And then the Seekers of Witchcraft. Okay, so basically they took down the Magistus in this triple threat selection pack in Seekers of Witchcraft. So Magistus getting split up to have their own secret pack, being great Propheseers. So that leaves Invoke and Witchcrafters in Seekers of Witchcraft. So to go over the new cards from great Propheseers, Magistus edition. And once I have it up, okay, boom. All right. Starting off fresh, based off from the artwork, even though it's not really related to the Seekers of Witchcraft or Great Propheseer, but the artwork says it all, which is the talk of anything spellcaster related of the good stuff. So Alpha Summon, harm once per turn on Alpha Summon. Target one of your banished monsters and one of your opponent's banished monsters. Special summon your monster to your opponent's field, and if you do, special summon that opponent's monster to your field. So basically, we just tend to swap a banished monster to the respective player's opposite field. So a little bit interesting take on this, but I felt like, to me, realistically, unless if there are banish style decks in general that utilizes it, then I really don't see too much out of it though. But it's for the sake of the thematic, in honor of the secret selection packs, we're basically going to cover this stuff. So Alpha Summon, that's been covered. Ver Magic, Lacrima of Light, as well as Magia Magic, Thunder of Judgment. Now these two cards, they are always treated as a Magistus card. Ver Magic, always treated as a Witchcrafter card. And then Magia Magic, always treated as an Endymion card. For Ver Magic, activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect once per turn. For Ver Magic, as a quick play spell, if you control a Magistus or a Witchcrafter, send one spellcaster monster or one spell from dead to graveyard. So it's Foolish Burial for spellcasters or Foolish Burial Goods a spell. Otherwise, when your opponent activates a card or effect, special one Magistus or Witchcrafter from hand or deck, so possible extension. Card is turbo broken for the archetype. Magia Magic Thunder of Judgment. Normal spell. Send one other face-up Magistus card you control to the graveyard, or remove 2 spell counters from your field, then activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect. You either does not target banish one other card on the field, or special one spellcaster from your hand, face-up extra deck, or graveyard. Card's crazy. Crowley the Gifted Magistus, the retrained version of Kid Alistair. If this face-up card is used as fusion material, its name can be treated as Alistair the Invoker. Hence, Kid Alistair. Each of the following effects of Kid Alistair, the retrained, once per turn. If this card is added to your hand, except by drawing it, you can free special it. Okay, so realistically, it's Zoroa, Hookup Artemis, and then Zoroa Special A spellcaster, level 4 spellcaster from hand or graveyard, and then Artemis, search out this card, and then this card is basically Snake Eyes Poplar based. Upon no more special outside of the damage step, perform a fusion Shogun of one Magistus or invoked fusion monster from your extra deck using materials from your hand or field. So built-in Snake Eye Poplar and fusion Shogun on summon. No more special. That's crazy work. Spenta the Magistus Sealer, or in most cases, according to so-called OCG land, Spoon. If you know, you know. Light spellcaster level 4, 1000 both ways. Hey, that's Gizme Uka in terms of unique interactions. You can discard this, activate one of the following effects. Add one Magistus monster from deck to hand that isn't Spoon. Basically, Spoon searches the whole entire squad of Magistus. Otherwise, cut the attack in half of one monster your opponent controls until the end of this turn. Okay, so generally the idea is if you don't see what you really wanted to see, basically the discard is for the first effect, and if for whatever the reason, for the second effect is where if your hand is beyond cracked, this is where you get to the debuff, which is nice. And then you can banish this from grave, target one face-up monster you control, hook up one Magistus monster from your extra deck or graveyard to it as an equip spell. And of course, more ways than one about hooking up Magistus extra deck related stuff, which is nice. Each of the following effects once per turn. And then extra deck. Endymion the Crescent Magistus. We pretty much went over this ever since the Great Propheseer's bundle opening. I will leave that in a link below as reference, so that way you guys get to know about the Magistus monster. And then Zoroa, the Magistus Verithraghna. Okay, that is way too much of a butcher there. Verithraghna. There we go. Verithraghna. That's it. That's way past butchering right there. Level 8 Fire Spellcaster Fusion, 2900 both ways. That takes one Magistus monster along with one Fusion, Synchro, Exi, or Link monster to make it. So the materials reminds me of Mirror Jade, but Magistus edition. Each of the following effects once per turn. You can target one effect monster in your graveyard or your opponent controls, equip that effect monster to this card, crazy, and then when a monster effect is activated as a quick effect, you can send one face-up Magistus monster card you control to this card. Well, you can send one face-up Magistus monster card you control to the graveyard, negate that effect, not activation, but negate that effect, then you can does not target, kill one card your opponent controls. That is a little too nuts. And then the glossed out Invoke Magistus Omega. Level 8 Dark Beast Fusion, 2800 attack, 2000 defense. That takes Alistair the Invoker along with Fusion, Synchro, Exile, or Link to make it so Mirror Jade-like materials, but Alistair the Invoker edition. If this card is special summon, doesn't matter how it's special summon, you can target one Fusion, Synchro, Exile, or Link monster in your graveyard and one monster anywhere on the field, banish them. If this Fusion Shokin card gets killed by battle or card effect, you can special summon one level 4 monster, spellcaster monster, from your deck, then hook up to this card as an equipped spell that gives it 1000 attack. And then each effect once per turn. And with that being said, this has been James Polk with the coverage of Magistus, along with the Invoke / Witchcrafter support in Great Propheseers. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And hit that bell so you can keep on constantly notifying. And speaking of Invoke and Witchcrafters, in the near future, once we have enough gems to do the bundle opening, stay tuned for a special episode of Seekers of Witchcraft Bundle Edition. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I shall catch you all next time.